Okay, great. So today, as I told the people, will try to develop a custom view component which helps us to generate a PDF document. Yes, a custom view component which helps us to generate a PDF document. Okay. In the last class, we saw how to create a custom view component. Today, let's create another custom view component. But this time, if you want to create a view component, custom view component, to render or to create a PDF document, in that case, I'm going to use iText library. I'm going to use iText library here. iText is actually a third-party library which is mainly used for generating the PDF documents dynamically. Okay. In order to generate the PDF documents dynamically, we use this iText. I can say yes. So first of all, here we need to add this iText libraries to our project. Okay. Let's quickly add iText libraries to our project here. I'll do one thing. Here I'll use this project where we have a controller, product controller. You see this product controller, as of now, what it is doing here, when it is invoked, it will fetch the product records from the repository. It adds them to the model and view object and will pass it on to the framework. You see, it is also providing the details about the view component which is supposed to render the response. As of now, here you see this JSP is responsible for rendering the product reports. Yes. Right? Yeah. Previously, see, we were displaying this records in the HTML page. we are displaying the records in the HTML page. But now I want to use a PDF document, create a PDF document and display the records in the PDF document here. I want to display the records in the PDF document. So what to do? You know, this is where we'll make use of this custom view component and we'll take the help of iText library. Okay, let me first add the libraries related to iText. Yeah. Yeah. You see, this is the dependency. Lovagi iText. Okay, now we got the dependency here. Now let's create a view component, a custom view component, which generates a PDF document. So in order to create a custom view component, here, this time I'm going to use this abstract PDF view. I'm going to use this abstract PDF view here. That's what I'm going to do. This abstract PDF view. So this class is a predefined class, abstract PDF view. It's a predefined class here, which is responsible for which helps us to create the PDF document. So I'm adding the projects to the Google Drive, right? So you'll get it over there. You can take it from the Google Drive. So already we got almost everything. I'm adding the code to the Google Drive. You can check once. Next, let's try to create this view component here. New class, the package name is view, and here we'll call it as product PDF view. Here We have to make this class extends abstract PDF view. So this is the class, predefined class from the Spring framework here, which helps you people to create the PDF document. Yes. Okay. Now, in this abstract PDF view class, we got two methods. One one of the methods is sorry, not two, one method. So we have to override a method here, an abstract method called as build PDF document. We need to override this method called as build PDF document here. Yes. You see this build PDF document method, it takes this parameters like map. We have 5 parameters altogether: a map object, a document object, PDF writer object, request object, and response object. These are the various parameters which will say. You see, the first parameter map object, actually the response data which has to be rendered by this view component. Now this view component has to render some response, right? That response data, you will find that it will be in this map object itself. So the view component will be able to read the response data from this map object itself here. Yes. Okay. Next you have document parameter. The document parameter is a document object basically, which represents a PDF document. So this document object here, basically, it represents the PDF document, I can say. Okay. Yes. It's PDF writer. It is used to write some content. If you want to write some content here, you can use that PDF writer, I can say. Yes. You got a request and response objects as well. Though we may not use request and response objects, these are the same request and response objects. Now these are the parameters which you'll see. Okay, a map object, a document object, PDF writer, request and response object. Now mainly you have to you'll be using this map object to read the response data, and you'll be using the PDF writer at most. Yeah, these are the things you can be using. Next, you see here, I'll do one thing. I'll make this controller to ask the framework to use this view component. Okay, I want the controller to provide this view name. So let me just configure this class as a Spring Bean here. So that is what we'll do. Component. We'll call it as product PDF view. This time the controller should return this PDF view name. Okay. Yes, that is what I want the controller to do. So you see, the controller this time it will delegate the task of rendering the response to that product PDF view. You can change the view name in the model and view object to product PDF view. That's it. You see, this time when this controller's method is called, it returns a model and view object. It returns a model and view object. You see, this model and view object here, it should return. You see, this time it is providing that product PDF view name. Yes, it provides a product PDF view name here. Yes. So this time the framework will call this product PDF view, and also it will pass this products list. You have the products list which is added to that model and view object, right? You got the products list here in the model and view object. So it should return that products list. I can say. Yes. Now in this view component, you will read that list. Okay. In this view component here, you're going to read that list. Yes. Let's read it. From the map object, you'll read that list in map dot get you pass that name. What is it? Products. We'll get that products list here. Next, the next thing is, now we need to create a table to display this product record. In the PDF document also, you can create a table. You might have noticed it. In the PDF documents, you'll have tables, right? So I would like to create a table. Yes. And in the table, I want to add this records here. And I want to add that table to the PDF document. That is what we'll try to do. Yes. See, to create a table, I'm going to use this iText library. Okay. Already, we are using a couple of classes here from iText. What are they? One is document, and the other one is PDF writer. So document and PDF writer, document object and PDF writer object, they both are from com.lovagi.text. That means this is iText library itself, not Spring Framework. But you see, Spring, it supports this library. You see, you can use this library as if the, those classes here, they are from Spring Framework itself. Yes. You see, it's a, it's a predefined method from the Spring Framework whose parameters are basically, they belong to that libraries. Yes. Okay. Next, let's create the table. See, to create a table again, I'm going to use a class from the iText library itself. You see, com.lovagi.text.table. I'm creating a table here. You see, and to this, we'll call this table class constructor, parameter is constructor. You see, and we are passing this value 4. What is this 4 here? This value 4, it actually indicates the number of columns you want here in the table. In the table, you want how many columns? In the table, you want how many columns? In this table, I want 4 columns. That is what I've specified. In this table, I want 4 columns. That is what we have specified here. Yes. Okay. After creating the table, now let's add the products to the table. Where are the products in the list, right? So here, first of all, to this table, I'll add column headings this way. Use add cell method. And therefore, you can pass this text here. You see, product ID, name, price, and description. Yes. Next, see, this four cells will be added to a row. Now, in each row, as I told you, people will have four cells or four columns, I can say. Yes. So one row is created. Okay. Next, let's iterate through that list and add the records to this table. You see, this add cell method which you got here, it always takes string values itself. Yes. Now, for each iteration, we'll read one record. We will add the data to the cell. See product ID. So product ID is integer type now. Yes, let's make it a string by appending a blank string this way. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Next, you see, similarly, we can create other cells to add the data. Get name. We don't need to append a string. For price, you'll do that again. We have description. For description, we won't append it again. Oh, just a second. We don't have description here. I'm sorry. We'll have quantity. We get quantity. Okay. Now you see here for each iteration, four cells will be created. You see, these four cells will be added to that row. Four cells here, they will be added to the row, I can say. Now, once a row is filled up with four cells, what happens? Now, another row will be created. Yes, another row will be created here. Yes, every row contains four cells because initially we have specified that columns size is four, right? In each row, we should have four columns. That's it. Nice. Okay. Now we'll have a table with the product details. Now in turn, this table will add it to the document, PDF document. So here, which object it represents PDF document? Yes, document object. You see, the second parameter of this method build the PDF document. The second parameter it represents this PDF document. I can say. Okay. Okay. Now to that PDF document, let's add this table. To the PDF document, we'll add the table. Okay, you have to do this. You see, document dot add. Just call the add method and pass the table here. That's it. Now we got the table in the document here. That is what we need. Okay, so I'm creating a very simple PDF document. So for more styles and all, I'll give you a reference link which you can check. Okay, so first of all, this time when you call this controller method display products whose URL is products here, what happens? You see, it returns a model and view object with the name product PDF view. That view name will be product PDF view, which indicates that this view component is supposed to render the response, and the response data is also added to the model and view object here. Yes. Okay. Now the framework will refer that model and view, sorry, that view name to a view resolver. You see, especially when you have custom view components, okay, then we need a special view resolver. What is that view resolver? In the last class we are going through it. We got a special view resolver. What is that view resolver? Yes, actually that view resolver is not configured here. We have to configure it. Now in the other project we have configured that view resolver. Yes, I hope you people remember. What is that view resolver which we need here to resolve the view name to a custom view component? Yes.
A bean name view resolve.
Yes, that's right. So we have a view resolver called as bean name view resolver. Yes. So we'll be using bean name view resolver. So let's configure that view resolver here. Okay. Bean class. What is it? Bean name view resolver. That's it. So what is the ID? You don't need not configure the ID also. Just to configure this bean, that's enough. Okay. Bean name view resolver. Now when we have multiple view resolvers, now the framework, it refers to which view resolver first. I want the framework to refer, I want the framework to use this bean name view resolver first. Okay. Yes. It should refer that view name to the bean name view resolver first. What to do? How will you make the framework to refer to this view resolver first? Yes. We'll have an order property. That's right. You know, in this view resolvers, in all the view resolvers, you'll find that here we'll have an order property. With the help of the order property, we can specify in which order you want the framework to refer to this view resolvers. Okay. Yes. Here in this bean name view resolver class, you'll have that order property. Let's configure the order values 1, let's say. Even in the internal resource view resolver, we'll have that order property. Just set it to 2. That's it. Set it to 2. That's it. Now the bean name view resolver will be referred first. we are done. Now we are all set. Let's try to test this code. I'll deploy this application on the server. So let's place the request for this URL. What is it? Uh, Products, right? Yeah. You see, actually, I just created a simple PDF document here with this product details. You see, we got that PDF document itself here straight away. Now to add styles and all, uh, you can refer to that library. I'll show you. So this is from iText. So in Spring Framework, you won't find any support. So the thing is here, you'll have iText. iText will provide you support. Just let me give you the link where you can find this example more on building the PDF documents using iText library. Okay. See, it's not responding. It's taking You see, this is the official site. Yeah, you'll see this API documentations examples, everything here. You can just refer to this document. Okay. So in that API itself, you have that details in the tutorials. You see, you'll have the details of how to create a PDF document by adding some styles and all. You can just check that one. Yeah. Okay. Now let's move on. You can check that link which I gave you people. You find it over there. Next, I'm going to talk about the next module. Again, we'll revisit the Spring MVC in Spring Boot framework. Okay. Yeah. So we have one module, Spring AOP. So we'll talk about this AOP and then we'll move on to Spring Boot. Yeah. So Spring Boot is another important point. Sorry, Spring AOP is another important module in Spring framework. Okay. Yes. Spring Aspect Oriented Programming. Yes. AOP. What is this AOP all about? Anyone got any idea? AOP. Yeah. Cross-cutting concerns. Let's see. What is this AOP here? Here, you see, AOP or Aspect Oriented Programming, it complements Object Oriented Programming. It's a complementary to Object Oriented Programming here. Yes. That is what the first thing which you need to understand. Here, you'll find that when we talk about any code in the software development, you'll find that you got code that spans multiple points of an application. The code which spans multiple points of an application, and it is actually called as cross-cutting concern. It is spread across application. In other words, in simple terms, I can say that the code which is spread across the application, the code which is spread across the application, that is cross-cutting concern code. The code which is spread across the application, and moreover, this code is not cross-cutting. Sorry, it's not business logic. Okay. Typically, the cross-cutting concerns are conceptually separate from the application's business logic. And this code is not business logic also. This code is not even business logic, but it is spread across the application. What is such code which is not business logic? And you will find that here it is spread across, or it is you'll find that it is spread across the application. Yes, that's right. Logging, yes, transaction management code, exception handling code, security. This is the code which is spread across the application here. This is the code which is spread across the application. So such code is actually called as cross-cutting concern code. You see, you will find that this transaction management code, exception handling, logging, it is mixed up with the business logic. So the main aim is to separate that cross-cutting concern code from the application's business logic. So at first place here, what is the issue with this cross-cutting concerns? Yes, why we are so worried about cross-cutting concerns here? Yes, why we are worried about cross-cutting concern code?
And mainly to solve like common problems without changing enough of the business project itself. Like you can have like for the transactional or the security or any logging issues. For an example, if you take, you have that in the model layers as well as the controller. And yeah, I mean for different levels or for different layers, basically the same code can be reused for uh, so it provides like a common solution to all the problems. I mean, to certain problems.
Okay, let's see. You will find that here, this cross-cutting concern code which you're talking about, it is spread across the application. You'll find that it is spread across the application. First of all, it is redundant. This code, I can say that it is very much redundant. So it is all over the place, right? It is redundant code. So if it is redundant code, that means you see, it is difficult to maintain such code. So for example, you take logging or transaction management, whatever it is. Here, now if you have to make any changes to this logging code or transaction management code, now you have to go to that code wherever you have it. Okay, it is spread across the application, right? So now you have to go to each and every place where we have this code and modify that code, right? Difficult in maintaining such code. Redundant code, as well as it is difficult to also maintain such code. So this is where your AOP comes into the picture. It helps us to separate this cross-cutting concern code from the rest of the application here, I can say. Yes. Okay. You know, dependency injection is used to manage and configure application objects. Dependency injection, it helps us in managing the dependencies and all, right? What about AOP? Yes, there are two things in the Spring framework. One is dependency injection and the other one is AOP. AOP will help you decouple the cross-cutting concerns from the objects they affect. Yes. So that means separating that cross-cutting concern code from the objects where we use this cross-cutting concern code here. Yes. So that is what we do here. But how can we do that? So this is where your Spring AOP helps us in this regard. So you see, we use aspects for this purpose. We got something called as aspects, which we make use of. Aspects help to modularize cross-cutting concerns, a modularization of concern that cuts across multiple classes. That is what we can do. So means you can separate this cross-cutting concern code and add it to a separate module itself here. Okay, you can add it to a separate module itself. Yes. So all the aspects, I can say that basically they belong to one module here. All the aspects they belong to one module here. So let's try to do that. First of all, I'll show you an example, and then we can discuss more about this AOP. Okay, let's see how it works. So it's difficult to imagine, especially with regard to this AOP. Now let's take this example. We got order controller. You see, have you noticed it in the order controller? We have added this logging code in the order controller. We have added this logging code. In each method, you'll find this logging code. You see here we have it in the show order view, in the process order view. Everywhere you got this logging code. Everywhere you got this logging code here. Okay. You know, this is redundant code, I can say. This code is actually considered as redundant code. Yes. You know what? Not only in this controller, in all the controllers you'll be doing the same, right? Not only in the controllers, but even in repositories, in almost every type of bean, especially see in the repositories, uh, in the service objects, in the controllers, definitely you'll be adding this logging code. That means it is all over the place. Have you noticed it? Though this code is also a reusable code itself, what we are doing, we are not literally writing the logging code here, but simply we are calling the methods, right? Yes, we are calling a method. You see, even this method call is also redundant, though to some extent we are trying to reuse the code. Yes, you got some reusability here, but still, even this is redundant, right? I'm calling info method. It's a predefined method. So we are reusing that method, info method. But you see, calls to that info methods is also very much redundant. Yes. Now it is added to this controllers methods. So controllers method is it is responsible for processing the client's request. But along with that code, along with the request processing code, you have this cross-cutting consent code also. Not only in the controllers, in the service components also, you have the same issue. In the repositories also, everywhere, in almost every type of object, you'll have the same issues here. Yes. So, can we avoid this redundancy? Yes. Actually, I can remove this redundant code here and add it to the aspects. This way, your aspects are going to help us. So, let's see how to make use of aspects to address this issue. Okay. Yeah. First of all, in order to work with this AOP, I want you people to make sure that you have all the libraries, okay, related to this AOP. Uh, I'll show you this like this here. First of all, one more thing, also change this Spring version also. I didn't change it in this project to this 3.1.1 itself. We'll make it 4. Okay, yes, 4.3.11. Next thing here, so you got this aspect J RT, right? This is a dependency. Is this a Spring library? I can say no. Okay, I didn't add it. By default, when we create the Spring MVC project, this aspect J RT file will be added. So it's not from Spring framework. Yes. You know what? Here, there is a framework called as aspect J, which is purely based on aspect oriented concepts. Okay. Here, basically, we are adding that libraries related to that framework itself. And Spring, it provides very good support for that aspect J. You can use aspect J as if this aspect J is part of your Spring framework itself. Okay. Yes. You don't have to write any additional integration code and all those things. Yeah. Next. So we are all set. Let's define an aspect. See, in order to define an aspect here, I'll just define a normal Java class to create a package called as aspect here. I'll call it as log aspect because I'll be writing that logging code here in this aspect class. Click on finish. And then you can annotate this class here with this annotation aspects. Also add this annotation component. You can configure an ID. It's a log aspect. You see that aspect annotation, it's not from Spring Framework, it's from aspect.jee framework. Okay. Sorry. Now what I want to do is here, I would like to move this logging code. I don't want to add that logging code here to this method because it is making this code has become very redundant, right? Not only in these two controllers. What are all the controllers you have in your application? In all the controllers you can do the same. You can just remove that code which you got. Okay. Yes. You know what? Here, the next thing is we need to add that login code to this class, to the aspect class. Okay. Yes. That redundant code, we are removing it from that controllers, not only from the controllers, wherever you have it in the application. You can just remove it. And then you see, I will add a method here, this way. I'll call it as log method. You can give any name you wish. Okay. The class name also can be anything you wish. But this method should take a parameter of type join point. The parameter type should be join point here. Okay. And then you can write that login code here. You just copy that code required this logger object. Log aspect. See, we got the logger. I will write that login code here. Okay. Yes. Okay. What is this two short string? What is this join point? I'll tell you. Okay. Now it works like a magic. Let's see how it works here. Now what I want to do is here, this login code, whatever you got here, I want this code to execute. I won't execute this code to log that method details whenever this controller's methods are called. Okay. Whenever this controller's methods are invoked, I want that logging code to execute. Whenever this controller methods are invoked, I want that logging code to execute here. Yes. You see, I didn't write now. Now we don't have any calls to that log methods. I don't have any calls to the log methods here. Yes. How can we do that? You see, I'm going to use metadata information for that. Yes. At the rate before. Now I'm configuring those details. Let's see. Execution com dot sorry public star com dot mtc dot m dot controller dot star dot. Let me just configure this carefully. You know what? Now externally we are configuring the details about the methods for which you want this logging code to be applied. So for which methods you want that logging code. Okay. Through this metadata, yep, we are supplying the details here. Yes. So you won't call this log method in the order controller, but whenever you see this order controller methods are called, whenever this order controller methods are invoked, automatically this log method will execute and it will print that log details for that method. Okay. Yes. So that is what I've configured here. You see, using this point cut expression. So this is actually called as a point cut expression. So point cut expression, it contains the target method details, I can say. Target method means the method where you would like to apply this advice code. Advice code means that cross-cutting concern code itself which you're talking about. Okay, this advice code is actually called as cross-cutting concern code. Yeah, so in this case the advice code is logging code. We would like to apply this log advice, I can say. We want to apply this log advice to the target methods. Which methods? You see, the methods which belong to this order controller. All the methods which belong to that order controller. To those methods, I would like to apply that advice. We want to apply the advice to those methods. I can say. Yeah, that is what we have configured. I'll discuss more about these expressions later on. Okay, we'll go through this point cut expressions later on. Yeah. Now we need to enable this aspects. Okay. Yes. How will you do that? Go to the configuration file. One last thing, enable those aspects here. beans class. Sorry, not beans. So first of all, you open this configuration file, go to select this namespaces tab. You'll find namespaces tab, namespaces. Here you check this option AOP. Check this option AOP and save this file. Okay, now come back to the source tab. Here just add this aspect J auto proxy element. Just add this aspect J auto proxy element here. Yes, that's it. Now you go back to that order controller class. Now in the order controller class, you got this methods, right? And if you check this here, for each method you got an arrow. For each method you'll find an arrow. See what it says? Advised by com.mtc.log aspect dot log method. It says this method is advised by that log method here. That log aspect method, log method is actually advising this method. That means it executes some cross-cutting concern code for this method, or it executes some advice code for this method. What is that advice code? Logging code. Here also you'll find the same, advised by log method. You see, this is something different. So you people never did this earlier, right? So we are trying to call a method here for this methods without invoking that method here. We are able to call a method. We won't invoke that log method. You won't write the code to call that log method here, but still that log method will execute for these methods. For these two target methods, that log method will execute. We have configured the details externally. Yes. But now we are externally configuring these details here such a way that this log method will be invoked whenever this whenever this controller methods they start execution. Okay. Yes. Whenever this method start execution, immediately this target method, sorry, advice method, log method will invoke. Okay. Yes. So now let's deploy this application on the server. I'll show you. We'll test this code. Okay. Now let me call this controllers method. How will you call the controllers method? Not directly. You won't call those methods directly. So you have to place the request through the JSP page. I mean, you have that URL, right? Process order. So I'll place the request for that URL. Process order. Yes. Process order. You see the console is blank as of now. The console is blank. Let's press enter. Okay. Now we have placed the request. Just a second. What is it? Process order or order process? Let me just check the URL. I'm sorry. Process order. Right. Mm, So we should just do. Let's check once again and redeploy this application. That's no issue. Let me check once. Okay, actually some libraries are missing here. Let me just add those libraries. Just looking for Weaver aspect J Weaver that is missing here. That is what it says. Let me check once. Okay, we have only one library. There is one more library which is needed. Aspect J Weaver will be required. That is needed. We'll see. Yeah. So for the version to use this property, okay, let me check once if there are any errors. I don't see any errors this time. And clear the console. Now let's place the request. What is it? Process order. Okay, for this controllers method. So this controllers method will be called. Let's see. Yeah. Now you got this form, and have you noticed it down? You got that log details. Now who's printing this log details? The log aspect class. And have you noticed it? You got that method details also. Order controller show order view method has been invoked. Okay. Yes. Show aspect method, it has been invoked here. Yes, that is what it says. Okay, but actually, did we add those details here in the log aspects method? In the advice method, you see, we are not printing that name show order view. How it works, how the log aspect method, log method will know which method is called, which controller's method is invoked. I'll tell you, okay? So those things, when you dig into the details, you'll understand. Here, not only for that show order view method, but also you see, okay, I guess we have to give a valid email address. That is what it will be. Okay, now you open the console, you check the console. You see this time that process order request method will be called. Even you got this method call details here. They are also logged. Who's logging this method call details again? That log method, that aspects method log method itself is logging this method details. So now from this example, what I have demonstrated, now what you understood, can someone tell me what we did here? Do you think is there any advantage for this? What we are able to achieve? You will find that here we are able to avoid that redundant code which you got, right? This redundant code, whatever you got here, we are able to avoid that redundancy, right? And we have separated that, yes, we have separated that cross-cutting concerns from this navigation flow. In this controllers, you'll have navigation flow, right? From the request processing code, we are able to separate that cross-cutting concern code. We're able to separate this cross-cutting concern code here. Yes. So we're able to externalize, separate this cross-cutting concern code. In this way, we can create a separate model. You see, now we have aspects. All the aspects, they belong to this aspects package. You can think of it as a separate model where you will have this, you know. aspect code, the advice code we say. Yes. Moreover, see, no method calls, nothing. Just using an annotation, we are able to apply this advice code to the target methods using this annotation, you see, at the rate before. Yeah. So, how it works internally, that I need to explain. Definitely, I'll do that. Yes. Now, this advice code, when exactly it executes? Before the method starts execution or after the method finishes execution? What do you people think? When this advice code will execute? Before the method starts execution or after the method finishes execution? Yes. Yeah. You know, you'll find that as soon as the target method is called, this advice code will execute. Whenever the target method is called, this advice code will execute. That means before the target method starts the execution, before the target method starts with the execution, this advice code will execute. Yes. If you want, you can also execute this advice code after the target method finishes execution. Yes. We have different types of advices here, which we can make use of. Yeah, we'll do that. You know, now let me just explain how we got those details here. You see, this join point object provides that details about the target methods. So the framework will call this log method, right? So whenever the target method is invoked, the framework will call this log method, and to this log method, see, a join point object is passed. In that join point object, you will have the details about the target method. Okay, so this log method, it has been invoked for which target method. Okay, the target method details, you will have it in this join point object. And how can you read the target method details from this join point object? You see, this is where a two short string method comes in the picture. You see, I'm calling the info method. In that info method, in turn, we are calling that two short string method. So when you call the two short string method, what happens? You'll find that the two short string method returns the target method details, the target method name and all, okay, for which the advice code has to execute, for which target method the advice code is supposed to execute. The target method name and all will be written by this two short string method, which we are printing here. This info method will print the details. Okay. So this way, the framework will provide the target method details to this advice method. So that is what is printed here. If we can check this. Okay. Yes, the two short string method is returning the target method details. Two short string method, it actually returns the target method details, I can say. Yes. Okay. Next, for suppose if you want to execute this advice code after the method finishes execution, if you want to execute the advice code after the method finishes execution, in that case you can use this after returning. Yes. Now what happens? This time you will find that this advice code will execute after the method after the method finishes execution. You see, after the method finishes execution, this method, this advice method will execute. Yes. Okay. Now you see, when the target method finishes execution, it may return a value, right? It may return a value. Whatever the value the target method has written, it can be anything, it can be an object also, right? It may return an object also. Whatever the target method has written, if you want, you can read that written value here. Okay, you'll be able to read that written value here. It's very much possible. So let's read that written value. Yes, whatever you got from the target method, if the target method, if it is returning any value, you can read that value here. Let's write the code for that. For that, you need to slightly change this code. Uh, Here, you add this attribute point cut, and then here also for this log method, you need to add one additional object. I'm sorry. You need to add one additional parameter which is of object type. Okay. Now to this method, you will get an additional parameter that is nothing but the value which is written by the target method. So whatever the value which is written by the target method, you see that value is passed as an additional parameter here. That is what you'll see. Okay, returning equal to. Now you have to register that parameter name also. Register that parameter name also here. Return value. You have to register the parameter name as well. So this way you can take that return value. You see, now to this method, the value which is written by the target method is also passed as a parameter. That's it. Okay, this is after returning advice. That means this advice method has got the option to inspect that results which is written by the target method here, right? The result which is written by the target method, you see, the advice method will be able to inspect that. Yes. It will be able to log those details also. It will be able to log those details also, I can say. Yes. Okay. We have other types of advices also, like around advice. We have an advice to handle the exceptions also. You see, to separate that exception handling code from the rest of the application. So even for that, you'll find an appropriate advice class. Okay. Yes. So, but I'll talk about it in the next session. So tomorrow we'll continue our discussion and we'll be closing this aspect-oriented programming. And then the next thing is we'll start with Spring Boot. Yeah. Okay then. That's all for today. So let's meet tomorrow and we'll continue the discussion. Bye-bye.